So your 2.5 part 2 lesson is nothing new to you. You're working with equations that are involving fractions where x is in the denominator. However, today we're going to be looking at denominators that have either x, a binomial, or a trinomial in them. So you're going to have to get rid of your fractions by finding your least common denominator, multiplying the entire fraction by that least common denominator, eliminating your fractions, and then solving either by factoring, using quadratic formula, or completing the square. So with this example, we have 2 over x is equal to 3 over x minus 2 minus 1. Within these three fractions, your least common denominator is x times x minus 2. If you remember when we worked with these before, you said from this point what x can't equal. If you set both of these not equal to 0 and you solve them, you would get that x is not equal to 0 and x is not equal to positive 2. So you know that if you get either of those two numbers as your answers, they would be extraneous solutions. So what we're going to do from here is multiply everything within that equation by x times x minus 2. So that means we are going to do x times x minus 2 times 2 over x is equal to x times x minus 2 times 3 over x minus 2 minus 1 times x minus 2. So with your x times x minus 2 times 2 over x, your x in the denominator and the whole number part are the same, so they cancel each other out, and you're just going to do 2 times x minus 2. On the other side of that equal sign, you have x times x minus 2 times 3 over x minus 2. Those x minus 2's are the same, and one's on the top, one's on the bottom, so they cancel each other out. You're just going to do x times 3. Then you have negative x times x minus 2. So we'll just multiply this all out to distribute the 2. That's going to give us 2x minus 4 is equal to x times 3 is 3x. The negative x times x is negative x squared. And negative x times negative 2 is positive 2x. Now, we have an x squared, so we want everything on the same side as that x squared. However, I don't want to use the negative x squared. I want to work with a positive x squared, so I'm going to move that x squared over to the other side. So I'm going to add it to both sides. I'm also going to move the 3x and the 2x over. Because those are like terms, they're going to give me 5x. So I'm going to cross these out, and that's just going to be positive 5x. So I'm going to move that 5x over by subtracting it from each side as well. So this is all going to simplify to give you x squared minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Your factors of negative 4 that add up to be negative 3 are 1 and negative 4. So this factors to give you x plus 1 times x minus 4 is equal to 0. We're going to set both of those equal to 0 and solve them. The 1 you're going to move over by subtracting it from both sides, so you get that x is equal to negative 1. The 4 you move over by adding it to both sides, and you get that x is equal to positive 4. You have negative 1, you have 4, you need to check these. It's neither 0 nor 2, so those two are your solutions. If we look at our next example, we have x is equal to 3 over x plus 1 over 2. Your least common denominator with these two, or with this equation, is going to be 2x. If you set that not equal to 0 and solve, you would get that x can't equal 0. So we're going to multiply the entire equation by that 2x. So that means we're going to have 2x times x is equal to 2x times 3 over x plus 2x times 1 over 2. Start canceling out from here. With the 2x times 3 over x, your x's are the same. They're diagonal from one another, so they cancel out. That's going to give you 2x times x is equal to 2 times 3. Then with your 2x times 1/2, the 2's are diagonal from one another, so that's just x times 1. So multiply from here. That gives you 2x squared is equal to 6 plus x. We're going to move the x over by subtracting it from each side. We're also moving the 6 over by subtracting it from both sides. So So that gives us 2x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Your a is something other than 1 here, so we're going to multiply 2 times negative 6. That gives us negative 12. From here, this is going to get rewritten as 2x squared plus 2x minus 6x. Oh, sorry, go back. Your factors of negative 12 that add up to be negative 1 are 3 and negative 4. So this is going to give you plus 3x minus 4x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now you can factor this by grouping. We're going to factor out an x from the first, a negative 2 from the second. So that's going to leave us with x times 2x plus 3 minus 2 times 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. From here, your two sets of parentheses are identical. So we're just going to form this into x minus 2 times 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. You're completely factored, so set each part equal to 0 and solve. So you have x minus 2 is equal to 0, as well as 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. Move your 2 over, add it to both sides. You get x is equal to 2. Move your 3 over, subtract it from both sides. You get x is equal, or 2x, sorry, is equal to negative 3. Then divide each side by the 2, and you have that x is negative 3 over 2. Double check these answers, make sure they're not what your least common denominator is telling you that x can't equal. X is equal to 2, that's fine because it's not 0. X is equal to negative 3 over 2, that's fine because it's not 0. So those two answers are fine. For number 2, you have 1 over x minus 1 over x plus 1 is equal to 3. Your least common denominator between these fractions is going to be x times x plus 1, which means your x cannot equal 0, and your x cannot equal negative 1. So from here, we are going to multiply everything within that equation by x times x plus 1. So that means that we are going to have x times x plus 1 times 1 over x. I'm going to turn that minus sign into a plus and turn the 1 into a negative 1. So then I multiply my x times x plus 1 by negative 1 over x plus 1. And then that 3 is going to multiply by x and x plus 1. I'm simplifying here. My x's cancel out with the x and the 1 over x. Then my x plus 1 cancels out with the x plus 1 times negative 1 over x plus 1. So that means I'm going to be left with 1 times x plus 1 minus 1 times x is equal to 3x times x plus 1. So I'm going to distribute and multiply here, and that's going to give me x plus 1 minus x is equal to 3x squared plus 3x. My x's on the left side are opposites, so they cancel. That's leaving me with the 1 is equal to 3x squared plus 3x. So I'm going to move the 1 over by subtracting it from both sides, and that gives me 3x squared plus 3x minus 1 is equal to 0. Your a is not 1 in this case, so if you multiply your a and your c, that's 3 times negative 1, that gives you negative 3. There are no factors of negative 3 that add up to be positive 3, so you are going to use your quadratic formula in order to solve this. Your a is 3, b is 3, c is negative 1. If you remember, your quadratic formula is x is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So we plug in our values and we simplify. So that's going to give us x is equal to the opposite of 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 1 all over 2 times 3. So from here we simplify, and that'll give us negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 plus 12, because negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4, times 3 is a positive 12, all over 6. Again, simplify even further. You have x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 21 all over 6. That does not simplify any further, and neither is it 0 or negative 1, so that is your answer. For number 3, you have 4 over x plus 1 minus 3 over x plus 2 is equal to 1. For this one, your least common denominator is x plus 1 times x plus 2, which means your x cannot equal negative 1, and it can't equal negative 2. So just keep those in mind while you work this out. You're going to multiply everything by your least common denominator, so that's x plus 1 times x plus 2, which means you are going to have x plus 1 times x plus 2 times 4 over x plus 1. The 3 is going to become the negative, so I'm going to add it with the negative 3. So this is going to be x plus 1 times x plus 2 times negative 3 over x plus 2 is equal to 1 times x plus 1 times x plus 2. So I go to cancel out here. Your x plus 1's cancel, your x plus 2's cancel, and then you multiply. So this is going to give you 4 times x plus 2 minus 3 times x plus 1 is equal to x plus 1 times x plus 2. I'm going to distribute the 4, distribute the negative 3, then FOIL out the right side. So this is going to leave us with 4x plus 8 minus 3x minus 3 is equal to x squared plus 3x plus 2. On the left side, your 4x minus 3x is just x. Your 8 minus 3 is 5. And this is equal to x squared plus 3x plus 2. We're going to move our x over by subtracting it from both sides. We're also going to move the 5 over by subtracting it from both sides. So that gives you x squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Your factors of negative 3 that add up to 2 are going to be negative 1 and positive 3. So this factors to give you x minus 1 times x plus 3 is equal to 0. We set that x minus 1 equal to 0. We set that x plus 3 equal to 0, and we solve them. For x minus 1 is equal to 0, add your 1 over. You get that x is equal to positive 1. For your x plus 3 is equal to 0, subtract your 3 over. You get that x is equal to negative 3. You said from the beginning that x can't equal negative 1 and x can't equal negative 2. The 1 and the negative 3 are neither of those numbers, so those are your answers. For number 4, we have x minus 2 over x minus 1 over x plus 2 is equal to 0. So your least common denominator for this one is just x times x plus 2. So that means that your x can't equal 0 and x can't equal negative 2. So we're going to multiply everything by your x times x plus 2. So that's going to give you x times x plus 2 times x minus 2 over x. I'm going to turn that 1 into a negative 1, turn it into an addition problem. So then I have x times x plus 2 times negative 1 over x plus 2 is equal to 0 times x plus 2. Your x's cancel, your x plus 2's cancel, so you're going to be doing x plus 2 times x minus 2 plus x times negative 1 is equal to 0 times x minus, or x plus 2 is just 0. I'm going to FOIL out the x plus 2 times x minus 2 and multiply your x with the negative 1. This is going to give us x squared minus 4 minus x is equal to 0. I don't like the order of this, so I'm going to rearrange it to be in standard form. And that's going to give us x squared minus x minus 4 is equal to 0. If you decide to find your factors of -4 that add up to be -1, you'll realize that there are none, so you're going to have to use your quadratic formula for this. So your a is going to equal 1, b is going to equal -1, c is equal to -4. Again, we said our quadratic formula from question number 2 was x is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So we're going to plug these three values in and simplify. So that's going to give us x is equal to the opposite of -1 plus or minus the square root of -1 squared minus 4 times 1 times -4 all over 2 times 1. So this simplifies to give us 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 16 all over 2. Your 1 plus 16 underneath that radical is 17, so that's 1 plus or minus the square root of 17 all over 2. That fraction is neither 0 nor -2, so that is your solution. If we look at number 5, we have x over x squared minus 4 plus 1 over x plus 2 is equal to 3. Now with this one, it's a little bit more difficult than the ones that we've done so far. The reason why is because that x squared minus 4 is not factored out. It does factor to be x minus 2 times x plus 2, which means your least common denominator for this is x minus 2 times x plus 2. So we're going to multiply everything by that x minus 2 times x plus 2. So this is going to give us x minus 2 times x plus 2 times x over x minus 2 times x plus 2 plus x minus 2 times x plus 2 times 1 over x plus 2 is equal to 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. Your x minus 2's cancel, your x plus 2's cancel, so you're just left with x for that one. Next, your x plus 2's cancel, so you're doing 1 times x minus 2. Then you have 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 2, which is that x squared minus 4. So we're just going to multiply from here. This is going to give us x plus x minus 2 is equal to 3x squared minus 12. We have like terms that we can combine on the left side. So that's 2x minus 2 is equal to 3x squared minus 12. We're going to move the 2 over by adding it to both sides. We're also going to move the 2x over by subtracting it from both sides. So this gives us 3x squared minus 2x minus 10 is equal to 0. You don't have a greatest common factor. Your 3 times -10 is -30. You're looking for factors of -30 that add up to -2. You don't have any. You have 1 and 30, that doesn't work. 2 and 15, that doesn't work. 3 and 10 doesn't work. 4 doesn't go into it evenly. 5 and 6 don't work. So use your quadratic formula. Your a is 3, b is -2, c is -10. So it's going to give us x is equal to the opposite of -2 plus or minus the square root of -2 squared minus 4 times 3 times -10 all over 2 times 3. This then simplifies to give us positive 2 plus or minus the square root of 4. The 4 times 3 is 12 times 10 is 120. And this is all over 6. Your 4 plus 120 is 124. So we have 2 plus or minus the square root of 124 all over 6. That 124 is divisible by 4 and 31. 4 is 2 and 2. Your two 2's pair up, so that gives you 2 plus or minus 2 square root 31 all over 6. Your 2 square root 31, and 6 are all divisible by 2. So this turns into 1 plus or minus the square root of 31 all over 3. That is neither the 2 nor the negative 2 that you would have seen from the very beginning, that your least common denominator tells you what x can't equal. So that is your solution. For our last one, we have x plus 4 over x plus 3 over x plus 7 is equal to 1. Our least common denominator between these two fractions is x times x plus 7, which means x can't equal 0 and x can't equal negative 7. So we are going to multiply the entire equation by x times x plus 7. This is going to give us x times x plus 7 times x plus 4 over x plus x times x plus 7 times 3 over x plus 7 is equal to 1 times x plus 7. So if we simplify, your x's cancel with the first part, your x plus 7's cancel with the second part. So you're just going to do x plus 7 times x plus 4 plus x times 3 is equal to x times x plus 7. If I FOIL out that x plus 7 times x plus 4, it gives us x squared plus 11x plus 28 plus x times 3 is 3x is equal to x squared plus 7x. We're going to combine our like terms on the left side. So that gives us x squared plus 14x plus 28 is equal to x squared plus 7x. If I move the x squared over, I subtract it from both sides. When I do this, it cancels out from both sides. So this is going to leave us with 14x plus 28 is equal to 7x. We move that 14x over by subtracting it from both sides. Then that leaves us with 28 is equal to negative 7x. From here, we just divide each side by the negative 7, and we get that x is equal to negative 4. That negative 4 is neither 0 nor negative 7, so that's your solution.